Welcome to Market of the Moment. I'm Sharon Talk, the Vice President and Sales Manager for Fidelity National Title. And I'm here with Mr.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Running late.
Don Tchaikovsky.
Yeah. How's it going? Don Tchaikovsky, Director of Channel Sales for Fidelity National Title.
We are out there busy helping making our partners more money every single day. Good job, Don. I love it.
Yeah,
love it.
Well, thank you. That's it. Well, I'm excited. I know that we talked about the need to talk about culture this week.
I love this. My favorite subject.
And so, we work for a great environment, and I think that when we talk about that with our partners and the opportunities for them to build great environments, and so many of them do, right? So many of them have great cultures within their organizations as well, and so I think that this is a great message for us to share as people are trying to work on building that culture, especially in the times of uncertainty, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Well, let's talk about it because Don, you've been with Fidelity for 8 years,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
What do you attribute to your success here in the last 8 years?
It's funny because when I walked in, and I tell the story often about how I really didn't know a lot about a lot, and I was really had a lot of figuring out to do as I was trying to find my way in this industry and in this business, and so many amazing supportive people that I've been around, from our escrow teams, who just spent time with me, educating me on things I just had no idea about, to our sales leadership. Sharon is, we spend a lot of time with coaching and all that, where, there's so many things, and man, I like working with you and getting those ideas. Like we put together some really good stuff together. And and our leadership with Mary Lou and Di is all of that's progressed. Just amazing supportive people who have helped me see the value in building solutions for our partners, and you know what, our partners too, right? The culture of the people that we work with. Somebody once told me, like, oh my gosh, Don, your job must be so miserable, like working with all of these people that you don't like and you have to spend time with and all this. I'm like, you're kidding me.
We choose to spend time with people we want to.
Exactly. I'm like, you know how many real estate agents are in Arizona? I get to pick the ones I work with. And so I'm so fortunate and blessed to be surrounded by so many great people. And so I think that all fits into that culture.
Right.
There's nobody, busting anybody's chops at Fidelity saying, like, why aren't you going after this person who maybe wouldn't be a fit for the culture, who maybe doesn't treat escrow officers well and doesn't treat our team well and doesn't appreciate the things that are done for them. So I think
that's what I love most about the culture, and it took a lot of years to build the culture that we have at Fidelity. It's kind of like when you move a ship, you just don't turn it. It takes a while to maneuver it and get it the way you want it. But I think it's so special because the relationship of escrow and sales in our company is like no other. And I think if we had to talk anything on what really resonates as culture here, that's it. And that's something that I know when I talk to salespeople at other companies every day, it's not the story. And I think it's something very special. And we joke around all the time that not everybody gets to work at Fidelity, and it's really a true statement. Yeah. We do have a higher standard here. We absolutely do, and there's no excuses about it. There's no remorse about it. We work with people that want to be successful, and that's really what it comes down to on our team, whether it's escrow or sales.
It's a culture of respect and success, right?
100%.
We don't always agree with everything that happens in our world, right? And I'm certain that you are all of you that are watching are in the same position, where somebody that has some influence in your life may make a decision that you don't agree with. But the fact is that if you can respect where that comes from, and that and knowing, like, I know when there's a decision made that isn't something that I'm fully in line with, that it's not being made because it's coming some negative direction towards me. It's being made because there's something else that either I don't see, or there's other people that are being impacted, and trying to make sure that and I just love that. It's pretty amazing to be in that world.
Well, what I kind of attribute to that too is communication. I mean, honestly, personally, I feel communication is the maker or breaker of every relationship you can possibly
100%.
have, whether it's a personal relationship, a family relationship, a business relationship, a colleague, whoever it is. The lack of communication is going to ruin a culture, right? And I think that's what we do so well here is, we do so many things together and communicate everything that's going on with everyone that needs to know what's going on. And honestly, one of the other messages that we've been talking for the last few weeks on what all these speakers that we've seen for the last few months, everything from Inman to Tom Ferry to other local folks and speaking too, the consistent messaging also in that has been coaching, right? How important today having a coach is. And that's part of Fidelity's culture as well. And that's what I think I love about it most. You have to be coachable to be here. Yeah. And what coachable means is that you are willing to hear the good and the bad. Right. And it's hard to sometimes hear the bad. Nobody really wants to hear, gosh, I need to work on this or that. However, again, the goal is that we're all in this together and we're all trying to uplift each other and make each other better. And I think that's really important.
So once upon a time in my pre-Fidelity life, I'm like, I don't need a coach.
You have a pre-Fidelity.
I know
life.
it's hard to believe it, right? Yeah, but I remember thinking like, I'd hear this coach, I'm like, I just know what to do. I know like the things like right. I'm just right. I'm good at that. I don't need a coach. In this world, it's amazing how we see these top producers, people selling 400-500. One of our guys, he's a couple thousand houses a year, and has multiple coaches, yep. multiple people who are in there helping him grow and do the things that he wants to do and the mindset and all right. that. And so, I'm like, well, we're little me, like thinking that I'm too big to have a coach. Right. And the reality is, Sharon, you're my coach, right? And Di's my coach. Yeah. And honestly, the agents we work with are my right. coach. I look at them as coaches.
We got lots of people. And I feel like we're in coaching every day when we sit in meetings because honestly, like we talked about before, the value that comes out of all these incredible partners that we work with right. and the conversations we get to have, it's like being in school every single day and getting smarter every single day and getting coached every single day. Yep. It's really incredible.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's what I think that for somebody who is in this business, if you're not surrounding yourself by those people, let us help you get in front of those people. Yeah. Let us help you get into that world because we can do that. We know those people. We know those people who love to coach and would love to help people be in an amazing culture and an amazing environment. One of our teams in the East Valley, I think they're at 55 agents now.
Wow.
And
that's incredible.
And but you feel it when you walk in the door of that office, right? Just the positive energy. They are, every time I see a Facebook post about the success of one of them, I see all the people on that team on there thumbs upping it, congratulations, supporting, rising them up. And I'm like, what a great culture,
amazing.
And so I just, again, fortunate to be surrounded by it all. And when people are looking at trying to figure out how to achieve that, I think that we're great coaches for that, right?
Yeah.
That because we live in it and we get to experience it all the time.
We do. And, while there's companies out there right now, like it's for sales teams, that are letting go of their salespeople, if you're working for an organization that doesn't see the bigger picture and your value and help coach you and train you to be who you are, I'm happy. Private message me, call me, whatever. Would love to talk to you about what it looks like here at Fidelity. And if you're an escrow and maybe not feeling that that's the support that you have from the organization, again, we are always looking for great people to come join the Fidelity family over here.
I want to reinforce that. I'm connected to a lot of people on LinkedIn and this streams live on LinkedIn who are in the title in escrow world, and I just can't say enough about I hear about people getting these offers and moving to these other companies, and and I get the calls myself, and I'm like, I am so blessed. All right, and I am so fortunate to work in a world where I have. And I'm surrounded by the people and all that. And if you don't feel that, then you should be talking to us. Now, it's important that you're somebody who's driven to be successful too, right?
Yes, 100%.
Because if the idea of success to you is, working from home and not going out into the field and not meeting with people and not being driven to go and conquer, then it might not be the right world.
Right.
But ultimately, if you're somebody who wants to be a part of that and feel that energy, and I hope you feel my enthusiasm as I say this, 'cause I feel it bubbling up inside of me. I'm like, I really am a lucky person to work here and to be surrounded by the people I'm surrounded by. So.
Well, I think we put it perfectly when we say, and I know we've said this many times, you know, and sometimes we're talking about rates and things like that, but, you know, we're not the Walmart of, Walmart, we're not the Walmart of Title.
I don't think they're watching.
You know, they might not be watching us today. But, you know, we're not the Walmart of title companies, and nor are people. We like to think of ourselves up there with, you know, Nordstrom's and some of those better places that some of us ladies like to shop at. Maybe some gentlemen too. I don't know.
A little bit.
But yeah, and it does make a difference. It's with like-minded people that you wanna surround yourself with.
100%.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, speaking of good cultures and good people that we surround ourselves with, I think it is time for us to check in with Miss Amber Kovarik and how the mortgage world is looking and see if there's any positive news out there, hopefully. And so Amber, what do you have going on?
Hey, it's Amber Kovarik with your quick 60-second market update. So you've probably heard the news that last Thursday we had an incredible day in the mortgage market. We saw interest rates drop more than they have in a single day dating back to 2009 when records first started. This was all because of a CPI inflation report coming in below expectations. Remember, I have been talking about it every week that the direction of mortgage rates is going to be very dependent upon us seeing inflation come down. Now, this was big news because this was the first report we got to show that what the Fed's been doing with raising their Fed funds rate is starting to work. 1 month is not enough. We definitely need to see a couple more consecutive months of this improvement before we see any kind of a trend in interest rates. But it was really good news, and it shows us that the future likely holds lower interest rates for our clients. We also got an announcement from Fannie and Freddie stating that they were removing many of their fees associated with loans for first-time homebuyers and their affordable programs. So there is all kinds of great news to get out there and share right now about buying in this market. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know.
Well, Amber, thank you so much for that update, as always. Appreciate you. And gosh, John, I'm really curious as to what Mindy has to tell us on what's going on with the market right now a little bit, and those MLS numbers and all that goodness that I know she loves to share.
Yeah.
Big news this week as the Valley shifts into a buyer's market after 3 months in a balanced housing market following an extreme inventory shortage that elevated home prices to their peak in May. While buyers have reaped the benefits of this rapidly shifting market, with nearly 45% of all recent sales involving concessions for mortgage rate buydowns, closing costs, and other seller-paid contributions, sellers are grappling with the reality that home prices have fallen almost 10% in that same time period. While downward pressure on pricing will continue to exist as long as demand is anemic, the housing market is behaving normally with only minimal inventory changes week over week as the new listing count slows to a modest trickle. Annual appreciation is still more than 30% for homeowners who have been in their home for at least 2 years, which is pretty good, and their purchase price has almost doubled if they've been in their home for the last 5, making the short-term loss more impactful for pandemic buyers, sellers, and investors looking to turn their inventory quickly. New construction has returned to the Valley as a viable solution for buyers after 2 years of inaccessible inventory and inflexible pricing, piquing the interest of many who are finding resale inventory to be a little outdated. With Valley restaurants packed, and I joke that people were still buying full-size candy bars at Halloween, the inventory and demand numbers in the housing market continue to reflect the hesitation and fear that consumers feel over inflation and interest rates, as well as some uncertainty and speculation about housing prices, which are expected to rebound once interest rates fall. While still historically low, the coupling of the increase in interest rates with the rapid escalation of home prices in a very short period of time has caused some to question the value of their purchase and challenge the affordability of their purchase in the current market. While short-term memory would say that selling prior to the peak of pricing would have been a better solution, the higher sales price would have come with less usable proceeds, where the average sales to list price was 104%, which meant that much of a seller's bottom line actually went to the opportunity cost of buying in that type of market, not to the down payment, closing costs, or even the principal loan amount of their purchase. The active listing count is now just slightly higher than it was last quarter, while both pending and under contract listings have risen over the last month, bringing us to a very similar position as we were in 2015, but with nearly double the average price point. While the Valley has now slipped into a buyer's market, a housing shortage is on the horizon once demand picks back up. The million-dollar question is, how far away is that horizon, and what impact will we see on housing prices in the meantime and mortgage rates in the interim?
Okay, Sharon, we got to wrap up.
Okay.
Yeah. I gotta jump out. I gotta get the tie back on and get out to another meeting. So.
Well, that's like perfect timing,
Yeah.
guys. So thank you so much again, as always, for joining us for Market of the Moment each week. And this has been really fun. Hope that you've watched the last 4 segments. Don and I did a little fireside chat here, talking about the shift in the market and what's going on today and how you can capture your piece of the market. Because guess what? It's what you want it. It's either a great market or it's not. We personally feel it's an amazing market, and it's going to be an amazing year because we're going to make it that, right? So
we choose to make it positive.
We choose to make it positive. B212.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Excellent. Sharon, I'll let you know how that meeting goes. All right.
Okay,
cool.
sounds
All right.
good.
We'll see you guys. Thank you.
Ciao,
All right, bye-bye.
guys.